5 intermittent fasting tips, doing it right to maximize health benefits. Welcome to our channel at maraming salamat for always being here. Pag-uusapan natin ngayon yung mga basic and not so common tips. And malalaman natin kung bakit yung iba ay very successful with their intermittent fasting journey while yung iba naman hindi ganon ka-successful because maybe iba yung ginagawa nila. So, this one is based on the experiences ng marami sa ating mga communities and also our own research kung saan na nakita natin that these tips are actually the best ones when it comes to intermittent fasting. And also, if you are here in our YouTube channel, you can share this video sa inyong Facebook page, guys. Kasi ngayon, hindi pa rin tayo maka-live sa ating Facebook channel. And today, pag-uusapan natin yung intermittent fasting, especially for beginners. Kung meron kayong mga questions, you can ask away kung meron kayong mga concerns when it comes to IF. And I intended to really talk to you more about this kasi marami sa ating communities ngayon yung bago pa lang sa LCF journey. And also, importante na maitama natin ito para lahat tayo ay hindi maghirap, okay? So, intermittent fasting, basic, ano ang ibig sabihin ng intermittent fasting first? Intermittent fasting is just a term na ginagawa natin na hindi tayo muna kumakain sa panahon na yon. So, intermittent fasting or IF, pwede siyang extended, pwede rin siyang in a day, but for beginners, importante we attempt intermittent fasting only for within 24 hours, within one day. Hindi natin kailangang mag-go beyond into 24 hours, especially kapag nagsisimula pa lang tayo. And yes, para sa mga meron ng dinaramdam, this one is actually even safe kahit meron kayong maintenance medications because this one, pwede ninyong makonsider kung ano yung mga inumin ninyo, ang inyong mga schedule sa araw-araw, yun yung ating pag-uusapan. So, learning intermittent fasting, pinaka-safe would be 12-12. 12-12 or 12 hours. Wait lang, kukunin ko muna yung aking whiteboard markers. So, start yung pinaka-basic sa ating intermittent fasting would be schedules. Iba-iba yung mga schedules. For beginners, you can do 12-12. Okay? So, 12-12, ano ang ibig sabihin ng 12-12? The first part would be your fasting window, the FW, and the second part would be your eating window. So, yan. FW and EW. Fasting window, EW, 12 hours. At yung eating window naman, yung allowed kang kumain, this is also 12 hours. So, fasting window, dapat wala ka munang kinakain dyan na kahit anong anything containing calories. So, very basic, no calories or meron kasi mga 0 calories, di ba? 0 calories pero matamis. So, as much as possible, neutral lang. Neutral taste, hindi matamis. Avoid sweets because ang mga sweets, kahit pa 0 calorie yan, pwede yan magkaroon ng insulin and insulin impact sa ating katawan. So, 12 hours. So, for example, meron tayong orasan dito, a very, very beautiful plate. Ito, gagamitin natin. So, this one is plate, a very beautiful plate. So, for example, ano pa? Last kang kumain. Anong oras kayo kumakain? Tama ba tong plate na to? Parang hindi, no? Tama naman. So, for example, 7 p.m. ka ng gabi, ang iyong dinner, 7 p.m. your dinner, yung next meal mo for the next day, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So, that's already a 12-12 schedule. Okay? So, kung nagawa niyo na yan ng matagal na, then maybe you can already move on sa ating second schedule. So, second schedule would be 14-10. So, paggawa mo ng inyong intermittent fasting schedule, dapat yung total nito is just 24 lang because we are just looking into 24 hours in a day, okay? Unless nasa ibang dimension kayo. So, 12-12, this is 24 hours. 14-10, so na-extend nyo na. 14 hours na yung inyong fasting window at yung eating window niyo ay nasa 10 hours na lang. So, for example, 7 p.m. yung inyong dinner, you can already have breakfast by 9. So, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. breakfast. So, this is already 14:10 schedule. Clear ba yan? Clear sa inyo? So, because 7 to 7, 12 hours, plus 1 hour, plus 2 hours, so that is already 14 hours. So, this is already 14:10 schedule. And then, pwede nyo ipagpatuloy yan, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks. And then, after that, kung feel niyo na mas kailangan nyo pang mag-fasting, mas meron kayong ilulose na weight o yung inyong fatty liver ay hindi pa rin nako-correct, then maybe you can improve your 14 hours into even longer. So, kung ready ka na dyan, maybe you can extend it even a little more. So, say for example, another 2 hours. So, kakain ka na ng breakfast by 11 a.m. So, by 11 a.m. na breakfast, that will already give you 16 hours. So, this is already a 16-8 schedule. Okay? So, a 16-8 schedule, usually marami nang nagiging regular when it comes to 16-8 schedule. Ito na yung minimum. And also, ito yung isang maganda din. Because with this schedule, it is also very flexible. Minsan, kung meron talagang panahon, although we don't advise for you to eat late, like say for example, yung dinner mo ay nasa 9 p.m. na dinner, you can still have 16 hours na parang hindi ganon ka sobra. So, by 9 p.m., so plus 4, so nasa 1 o'clock ng hapon. So, by 1 p.m., ay ikaw ay makakapag-eat na ng inyong first meal, and that is already a 16-8 schedule. So, that is a 16-8 schedule that is still allowed. Okay? And kung mas matagal, you can move it into 18-6. So kung 18-6, so we go back, for example, so we go back at 7 p.m. na dinner. So 7 p.m. na dinner. So plus math lesson, no? So if magagawin mong 18-6 yung inyong schedule, so this is 18-6 schedule, plus 6 hours. So 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1 p.m. ng hapon. That is already 1 p.m. So that is already an 18-6 schedule. So usually, like ako, sanay din ako na 12 kumakain. Kung 12 ako kakain, so dapat, kung gusto kong ma-retain yung 18-6, I will try na yung dinner ko is an hour earlier. 'Di ba? Para matapos ko pa rin yung 18-6 na by 12, makakakain ako. So, I will move my dinner at 6 p.m. instead. Okay? Okay, klaro na tayo when it comes to basic of intermittent fasting at kung ano yung mga ibang terminologies. And for the sake lang of clarifying yung mga schedule, di ba? 14-10, 16-8, 18-6, pwede ring 24. Yung 24 actually, or 9, and as little as 19-5. 19-5. So 19 hours of fasting minimum, 20 hours up to 23 hours, that is already considered as OMAD. OMAD, okay? So ano yung OMAD? OMAD is 1 meal a day. OMAD is 1 meal a day, and hindi siya ganun ka-strict na isang meal lang talaga. Pwede siyang 1 meal, 1 large meal. Okay? Isang buong meal na sobra talaga yung mukbang type. You can have that. Or you can have 1 regular meal plus 1 light meal. Okay? Basta yung importante is pasok sila sa iyong eating window na 1 to 5 hours only in a day. Okay? So, para sa iba na kailangan mag-lose ng weight and kailangan ng reversal ng kanilang inflammation sa katawan ng medyo madalian, after you have adapted already, nagso-slowly transition na kayo, maybe in 1 to 2 weeks time, na konti-konti ninyong paitaas ang inyong fasting window, you can transition into OMAD. So, okay lang na mag one regular meal ka. Say for example, nung binuksan mo yung iyong eating window at for example, yung last meal mo is 6 p.m. ng hapon. So 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. yung inyong, saan na yung 6? Dito pala. 6 p.m. yung inyong last meal, LM. Okay? 6 p.m. So, makaka 19 hours ka by 1 p.m. Tama, no? By 1 p.m., 19 hours of fasting na yon. Okay? So, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For example, dito kakakain ng iyong large meal. Okay? Large meal mo yan. And then, before you close your window around 5 o'clock, pwede ka pang kumain ng light snacks. Light snacks or, like for me, as much as possible, kapag nag-uumad ako, one large meal, one regular meal, na heavy meal, and then when I close my window, I just drink something nice. So, say for example, kombucha, or kung merong coffee na merong heavy cream or bulletproof coffee or hot chocolate na merong 100 ml na full cream milk. So meron na siyang calories but still low carb, but kakaunti lang para hindi ganun ka-heavy. So yun yung usual ginagawa ko. But if you want, you can have isang chicken breast or kung anong whatever you like, a little salad. Make sure that it's enough to sustain you for the next day. Okay? So yan yung basic ng ating intermittent fasting, and we will now move on to our 5 tips. Okay? So mga malalaki yung tiyan, yes, pwedeng-pwede yan. Very, very helpful sa may mga malalaking tiyan yung intermittent fasting. So for our first tip is fit it in your daily schedule. Depending kung ano yung schedule ninyo. Dapat alam ninyo when you can fast and when you cannot fast. Kasi kung bukas ay birthday mo at meron kang lunch birthday celebration at meron pang dinner celebration. So, as much as possible, kung gusto mong magkaroon pa rin ng inyong regular na inyong fasting schedule, you might want to close your window earlier today. So, hindi ka muna mag-heavy dinner because you know, by lunchtime or by early breakfast, kailangan makakakain ka na agad-agad. So, always consider that. For those na merong mga medications, like say for example, every morning yung kanilang medications, you can actually ask your doctor kung pwede itong ma-move. But kung hindi naman, you can start your breakfast early. So, if your mealtime or yung breakfast medicine mo is at 9 a.m., so pwede ka pa rin kumain ng 9 a.m. and then you can take that medicine. And then kung gusto mo mag-start lang ng 14 hours na schedule, 9 a.m. pwede ka mag-breakfast, and as sabi nga natin, pwede ka pa rin mag-dinner by 7 o'clock. Or kung gusto mong i-extend like 16 hours, so you can have your breakfast at 9, but you must have your dinner by 5 p.m. Dapat 5 p.m. pa lang is tapos na yung inyong breakfast. So, consider your schedule para mas maging successful yung inyong pag-stick sa inyong IF window. We have apps sa may mga phones. Merong mga applications to track your fasting. Yung ginagamit ko is Life app. So, this one is Life app. Life lang siya, buhay. But yung IF naka-highlight. So, ngayon, I'm already around 15 hours of fasting, and nilagay ko dyan, minimum lang na 16 hours. But actually today, I intend to fast the whole day. 24 hours of fasting, and hopefully masustain ko in the morning kasi medyo matagal na since I've fasted, and right now, nasa bahay lang ako for an online training. It's actually our lunch break today. So, lunch break natin ngayong 12 noon. It's lunch break, but since hindi ako magla-lunch, I decided to share with you yung mga basics when it comes to intermittent fasting, and tamang-tama na naka-fast din tayo. So, number 1 tip is to always consider your schedule. So, last night, late kami nag-close ng pagkain namin, and also because we know we will fast the whole day today. Ako at si Admin Cha. We are fasting today and hopefully until tomorrow, and I intend to break my fast kapag babiyahe na ako, I will have a trip after this coming weekend then. So, doon ako magbe-break ng fast. So, that's our number one tip. Always consider your daily schedule para mas mailagay ninyo. And speaking of trackers, you can track it like this one, nakatrack yan. At maganda siya kasi i-record niya yung inyong fast sa inyong buhay. Actually, lately, hindi ako nakakapag-track kasi medyo erratic yung schedule. Pero, there are also other apps na mas maganda for others. Like, ano ba yon? Zero app ba yon? Maraming app about intermittent fasting. Kaya nga lang, dito ako nakapagsimula at nandito na yung record ko. Kaya pinanindigan ko na. And we also have a community here. So, we have a fasting circle. Pwede nyo i-search dyan. LCFF community. Nandyan. So, ngayon, merong 61 others. Hello sa 61 others na nagpa-fasting ngayon together with me. And in here, sa ating record, for example, na ilalagay dyan, so total longest fast na na-record dito is 278, but actually it's even longer. Kaya nga lang, hindi nila ina-allow ng recording of 2 weeks. So, hindi nila ina-allow dyan hanggang 7 days lang siguro. Total number of fast is 714. So, usually in a day, so parang 2 years. But actually, magpo 4 years na ito. Hindi nga lang nakatrack always. But if you want to help you to start, pwede kayong mag-download ng app. And we also have our journal. Kung gusto nyong mag-journal, so you can have there. So yung journal natin, yung ating Happy Healthy Planner, meron yang fasting. So nakalagay dyan kung ano ang pagkain mo today, if it's on the safe list, if it's on the caution list or danger list, and kung nagpa-fasting ka, yes or no, time when you open your fasting window, when you close it, and other remarks. You can just do it in any notebook. Pwede lang gumawa lang kayo in inyong planner or inyong notebook. So that's tip number 1, fit it to your daily schedule. Number 2 is align it with circadian rhythm. Importante na maka-align tayo. Hindi natin sisirain yung ating circadian rhythm when it comes to fasting. Maraming doktor minsan sa mga kakilala ko before that they are afraid of doing intermittent fasting because baka daw masira yung kanilang circadian rhythm or kanilang hormone. They don't know that there is such a thing as circadian fasting. So, what is circadian fasting? Ilalagay natin dito para wag natin makalimutan. So, this is circadian fasting. So, fasting according to your circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is the sleep-wake cycle ng ating katawan. The number 1 regulation ng circadian rhythm is sunlight, light and dark exposure. It's very good if you can do at least 10 minutes or 15-minute na walk under the sun. Or kahit kung hindi man kayo makapaglakad, magbilad lang sa araw ng 10 minutes in a day. That can already start correcting your circadian rhythm kasi malalaman ng katawan mo that you are really on this morning time. Makikita ninyo na for those na having problems sleeping, baka nakulangan kayo sa sun exposure. When you have regular sun exposure, makikita ninyo na inyong tulog sobrang himbing sa gabi. That is one of the benefits of circadian rhythm. And how you can do circadian fasting, you can make sure na yung last meal ninyo, should be 4 to 6 hours before bedtime. Okay? So, yun yung pinaka-basics. Last meal is 4 to 6 hours before bedtime para sa mga naka-night shift. So, you can just assign a time. Kung natatapos ka ng trabaho ng 6 a.m. ng umaga at natutulog ka na right after, make sure na yung last mong kinain is on or before 12 midnight. Or even earlier. This is just minimum. Or even earlier. Mas mabuti yon. So that mas ma-regulate. Ang importante, natutulog ka nang wala nang masyadong laman yung tiyan mo. Because if you are eating late and matutulog ka na, your body will not be able to function on repair. Kasi when we sleep, hindi lang tayo basta natutulog lang, na nagre-rest lang yung muscles natin. We are actually repairing yung mga sira-sira sa ating katawan that happens on a day-to-day basis. Kahit gaano tayo ka-healthy, kahit gaano ka nag-a-avoid tayo ng toxins, but there is still those damages, micro damages as we live every day. So those damages, kailangan niyang ma-repair, and that happens when we are sleeping. At kapag busog tayo ng natutulog, then our body's capacity to heal, yung capacity niya to repair itself is very limited kasi yung blood flow, yung kanyang energy, nakafocus lang sa pag-digest ng pagkain. So, kung hindi naman kayo naka-night shift, so you can just have your last meal before sundown. Yun yung isa sa pinakamadaling isipin. So, before sundown, you can already have your last meal, and since nandito tayo sa Pilipinas, it's mostly 6 p.m. Okay? Meal before sundown. That is circadian fasting. Okay? Before, lagay natin, kasi iba, mga visual learners tayo. Iba talaga kapag nakikita natin. So, meal before sundown by 6 p.m. ng gabi or earlier. And medyo hindi man siya ganon kadali, especially if you have different work schedule. But you can just work your way around 4 to 6 hours before bedtime. Basta importante, huwag matulog ng busog. Okay? Especially sa mga lalaki. Yun yung isa sa rason na nakita nating association with bangungot na mga hindi na nagigising after eating a lot, heavy meal before sleeping. Usong-uso, especially among Asians. So, align it with your circadian rhythm. Last meal before sundown. Yan na yung maximum. Last meal before sundown. So, around 6 p.m. Kung pwede, even earlier, you can already stop eating. But what's good about this one, after, pwede pa kayong uminom ng water. Okay? Water, tea, light tea, huwag lang yung mga caffeinated tea para hindi pa rin masira yung inyong circadian rhythm. So, just water, cold or warm water, whatever you like, pwede pa kayong iminom. And I advise na when it comes to fluid intake naman, try to also regulate it. Huwag nang uminom ng isang basong tubig bago matulog. Try to limit your last water intake na bulk, yung maramihan, 1 to 2 hours before your bedtime para hindi na kayo magising para umihi. Kasi kapag nagising kayo para umihi, disrupted na naman yung tulog ninyo, hindi tuloy-tuloy. Sa simula, especially for those with diabetes or medyo inflamed yung katawan, it is somewhat given na ilang beses umiihi in the middle of the night, kahit pa nag-control na sila ng water intake at bedtime, kasi medyo inflamed pa yung katawan at marami pang sugar na kailangan eliminate. The increase in urinary frequency is one of our body's response and compensatory mechanism para maipababa yung blood sugar sa ating katawan. And hopefully, as you journey sa ating low carb and fasting journey, especially hi sa mga part ng ating masterclass, that's LCFM, so low carb fasting masterclass sa lahat ng participants natin. I hope that by this time, especially yung nagsimula way back August last year, yung inyong frequency sa pag-ihi sa gabi, hindi na ganon kadalas because your body is already healing, wala na siyang inflammation, wala na siyang excess sugar na kailangan ilabas. And yes, initially, kung hindi pa kayo nagsimula at kakasimula nyo pa lang, na madalas pa kayong umihi in the middle of the night, twice, 3 times a day, 3 times per night, just be patient. Darating din tayo dyan. So that's the second tip for our intermittent fasting. Do it the circadian way. Circadian fasting para hindi masira yung ating circadian rhythm. Next would be doing a clean fast. A clean fast would mean really no calories. Kasi yung iba, nagfa-fasting pero umiinom ng kape, black na kape, pero may stevia, may erythritol. Yung iba, nagbo-bulletproof coffee. The bulletproof coffee is okay, especially if you are in keto, gusto mo talagang always in ketosis, but hindi siya fasting. So we just have to be clear with that. If you decide to take bulletproof coffee, consider it as part of your meal already. Hindi naman bawal, pero hindi na siya fasting. And this topic for today, we are prioritizing the health benefits of fasting. And when it comes to health benefits of fasting, it should be a clean fast. So ano lang yung pwede sa clean fast? The clean fast na walang gray area would be water And then, plain tea, hindi yung fruit teas, usually mga ano lang, mga herb teas. Teas, black coffee, and when it comes to teas, okay lang yung mga teas na herb, also turmeric. Turmeric drink. Okay? So this one you can take during fasting. It is considered as a clean fast. Merong gray area. Hindi siya ganon ka-clean, but it's 0 calorie, and also yung iba okay naman. So apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar, pwede siya sa clean fast, but it's not really the safest. So you have to know kung nagre-react ka dito. Kasi yung iba, when they drink this one, mas nagugutom sila, mas nagki-crave sila. So when it already does that to your body, then it's not safe for you. Kasi nga, mas na-trigger yung gutom. Because supposedly, kapag meron kang tinitake na clean fast, hindi siya mas nakaka-trigger ng gutom. It will even remove the hunger. What you can add are electrolytes here. So plus, yung pinaka-safe na electrolytes na very basic, so salt. So salt lang. Or none at all. Kahit wala, okay lang. Actually ngayon, I'm still on dry fasting. So 16 hours nang walang kahit anong water intake. I do dry fasting minimum of 14 hours a day. And then after, dun ako uminom ng water. But today, since I'm fasting the whole day, meron na akong ready na water beside me, but punong-puno pa siya. This one, hindi ko pa siya naiinom. So, I'm gonna extend my dry fast as long as possible. So, hindi clean fast yung lemon. Pero, lemon plus cucumber na hindi mo squeezed. So, just the scent of it, just the flavoring of it. So, hindi naman napiga yung kaniyang juice. So, pwede siya as slices lang, pero this is still on the gray area. Okay? Gray area. So, you should consider that. Everything na wala dito is no longer a clean fast. Okay? So, kahit 14 hours lang, but if it's a clean fast, you can already see benefits. So, salt, tea, coffee, turmeric, water. So, it's all plain. No sugar. And we also have a lot of community members na nasasanay na hindi coffee with sugar, but coffee with salt. Kapag nasanay kayo, actually, yung salt, mawawala yung bitterness ng coffee. And it's something na acquired taste or learned taste. Mas masasanay ka, you can see the improvements yourself. Kasi para sa iba na nag-intermittent fasting nung matagal, they are not successful in a sense na hindi nila nasusustain, or they are not seeing the changes, yung inflammation nandun pa rin, or yung kanilang weight loss journey is sobrang mabagal, then maybe because they are not doing a clean fast. So you should do a clean fast. It is also outlined in our books sa ating Perfect at Last. Weight, health, and wellness, nandun yun. Yung mga basic ng ating fasting and what you can take. So turmeric is something na I learned to love recently. And turmeric is also good because it is improving on autophagy. So yung autophagy, it's the self-cleansing mechanism ng ating katawan. Yung meaning nito, auto, sarili, phagy, kain. So kinakain ng ating sarili mismo, but it's not the good parts in our body, but it's the parts na excess, yung mga inflammatory part, yung mga inflammation, yung mga sumusobra. Kasi nga, yung kadalasan sa ating problema these days, when it comes to lifestyle diseases, is hindi talaga kakulangan, but sobra-sobra sa pagkain, at hindi ito related lang sa budget. Kasi marami na ngayon, kahit pa naghihirap sa buhay, pero still are suffering from diabetes, suffering from hypertension, kahit halos hindi na sila nakakain ng ulam. Pero saan sila nagkaroon ng problema? Because all of their food intake are mostly carbohydrate. Kanin, kanin, kanin. Yung bahaw, yung leftover na kanin, kinakain, nilalagyan na ng kakaunting pampalasa, yung mga seasonings na very, very dangerous kasi nga masarap sa pagkain, but is addicting and it is disrupting our brain. At kapag kumakain ka niyan na puro kanin lang, you are actually risking yourself of sugar overload. Kaya no wonder na kahit pa yung mga pinakamahirap sa Pilipinas ay meron pa ring diabetes. Kasi noong unang panahon, yung diabetes ay sakit lang ng mga mayayaman. But now, it's not the case anymore, especially na murang-mura na yung tinapay, mura na yung kanin, at yun na lang yung parating kinakain. What they don't know, if they remove that and if they choose to eat other foods na mura din pero mas masustansya at hindi nakaka-addict like isda or itlog, they will no longer crave food. Hindi na sila kailangan maggutom 3 times a day. Just 2 meals a day is already enough, if not more than enough. If yung inyong tiyan ay malaki pa din, then that is still stored foods na pwede pa nating i-let go. So, bilisan na natin. I think matatapos na yung break time namin. Ang bilis lang, no? So, next would be do a regular but irregular fasting. Ano ang ibig sabihin yan? So, for example, if you are doing 16-8 every day, so, yung katawan natin, minsan nagsiset yan, nagiging adapted at nasasanay na siya sa ganyang schedule. It is somewhat good, pero pwede na magkaroon ka ng dependency na a little change lang minsan. For example, nagkaroon ng holiday at hindi ka naka-fasting, bigla ka magbo-bloat because hindi na sanay yung katawan mo. So, what is good is to actually regularly change your regular eating schedule. So, pero meron kayong window pa din. So, as a rule, just make it as a circadian fasting. Always have a minimum of 12 hours and then you can already change it. So, actually, between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., pwede kayong mag-change dyan. So, for example, Monday to Friday. So, for example, Monday to Wednesday. Okay? For example, kumakain kayo ng 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. So that is already 18-6, di ba? This is already 18-6 schedule. And then by Thursday to Saturday, pwede kayong mag-iba ng schedule. So kung gusto niyo yung 18-6 pa din, pwede ibang oras like 12 noon to 6 p.m. 'Di ba? Pwede niyo ma-change 'yan. Or kung i-shorten mo naman to 16-8, you can eat as early as 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. So, yun, merong changes. And then Sunday, since usual natin na Sunday is family day. So, pwede kayong, on Sunday, for example, mag-14-10 ka lang. So, Sunday, since magluluto ka at ikaw yung titikim ng luto mo, you can start eating, say for example, nagluluto ka na ng 8 a.m., di ba? And magla-lunch kayo ng family niyo by 12, meron kayong breakfast, and then meron pa kayong dinner at 6 p.m. So, you can still have multiple na different schedules para huwag masana yung katawan natin. At the very least, just follow circadian fasting kung kaya. Kung may mga special occasions, of course, medyo mahirap yan because most of the gatherings are late night na nangyayari. But have a minimum of 12 hours of fasting every day, okay? And for our last tip, kasi parang patapos na yung break time namin, break it properly, break it gently by eating right. And what do we mean by eating right? So that is by eating low carb. So eating low carb, anong mga nandyan? Nasa safe list of JGC Rojo food list. If you are watching in YouTube, you can search. Meron tayong video na ginawa dyan, JGC Rojo food list explained. At ina-explain natin kung ano yung nasa safe list, nasa caution list, and nasa danger list. You will try to update later the description para makuha ninyo yung link ng video na yon. Eat right, eat safe, so that mas masusustain ninyo yung inyong fasting schedule. Because if not, yung iba kasi, kapag kumakain sila, just because they've fasted, feeling nila meron na silang karapatan na kumain ng carbs, kumain ng cakes, uminom ng sodas, only to experience worse after. Because after you give in sa mga pagkain na yon, you will start craving and it will be hard for you to stick with your intermittent fasting schedule in the first place. So we are into sustainable kind of intermittent fasting. And I hope you learned something today. And for those na may questions, we may not be able to answer it all kasi nga meron akong online training ngayon. Kaya yan. Wala pa tayong ligo. But we are just here in the house para sa ating online training. And patapos na yung break time namin. Just enough na mapapatuloy ko yung aking fasting schedule. I hope I can sustain fasting for the whole day today. And I'll see you tomorrow for our another video. For those who wish to join our masterclass, just message our admin sa Dr. Josephine Grace Chua Rojo na Facebook page, and our admins there will help you sa inyong enrollment. Maraming salamat, everyone. Always remember to stay low carb so that we all stay safe. Have a good day.